Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, Rick the Dawn. Hey, check it. So I just finally caught up. It took me a little day, but I'm here. I finally was able to watch it. The latest episode of Temptation Island. And let's jump right in. First off, great episode. And I want to just say it right now, just in case you're just going to leave right after the intro or whatever. We already know what it is, man. This has been the same thing for a long time. We know that Temptation Island kicks off on episode 3. So, I watched episode 2 just knowing that. I knew that typically Temptation Island ramps up to 1,000 on episode 3. So I didn't expect much. I do know this. Next episode, yeah, it's gonna be insane. All right. And Peacock, for whatever reason, they're streaming this show a day after it airs on TV. That's what took me so long. But anyway, I want to start off with this couple here. We're talking about Kaitlin and Hall. This was a really cool episode. Just watching those two and watching the dynamics play out between these two. We know that Kaitlin is really, really in love with Hall. We know that she has some issues with him having left her and come back. And I really hate it because I just don't think that Hall is the best that Kaitlin can get. I'm sorry, is that wrong to say? I know I'm breaking bro code, but Kaitlin is a beautiful girl, and I'm gonna tell you who she reminds me of. She reminds me of Julia Roberts, in like her prime, pretty woman Julia Roberts. That's who Kaitlin reminds me of. She's absolutely gorgeous. She has like these little moles over her body, her little neck area. I'm like, man, she's gorgeous, dude. And what makes a woman that much more attractive is when she doesn't act like she knows. She looks super beautiful. Like Kaitlin is extremely humble, very, very genuine, very nice. And Hall, he's a guy. So when I look at Hall, I'm like, Kaitlin, how did you get this guy? He just doesn't deserve Kaitlin. Listen, because every guy knows every guy. We all know, just like women know women, guys know guys. And Hall is just not a good guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He can play the part. And I think that's what he's doing. He plays the part. And that's what gets him so far. But, man, if I could just tell Kaitlin, like, Kaitlin, find somebody else. This guy is going to waste your time. In fact, he's already done it. He was with her for 3 years, left, came back, and then was with her for 5 more. That's 8 years of just nothing. And then on top of that, and this is maybe not Hall's fault, but he proposes to her. And, to this point, there's no date set. And again, that's not necessarily Hall's fault, but I think Kaitlin is just kind of like having some reservations. And I'm going to tell her why. The reasons why, because you're having something in your gut tell you this is not your guy. And I can't tell you how many times I saw that this episode. Hall is just not a genuine guy. Now, Hall did say something that was very interesting. He said he's not worried that Kaitlin will leave him because of something he does, which I would argue he's gonna break some kind of rule. I'm gonna tell you why. He has one of the most beautiful women on the other side in the guy's villa on his radar, and I don't know her name, but it could be Mackenzie. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Let me tell you, she would give a lot of guys a lot of problems in this type of situation. All right, so I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. She's hot. Okay, all right, she's beautiful. Okay, so but at the same time, he said that he was a little more concerned that Kaitlin would find somebody better than him. And I think, what up, D? Daniel's in the building. What's up, my man? But no, he was saying that he worries that she might find somebody better than him. And you know what? That's exactly what he should be worried about, because I personally believe that just Kaitlin's a good catch. And it's unfortunate that she probably don't realize that. I think she has an issue with her confidence. And man, if I could tell her, like, listen, you don't have to worry about that. You are everything that you couldn't imagine how valuable you will be or are to the right person. The next couple is Paris and Great. This was a really cool dynamic. This couple is very fiery. I'm gonna just say it right now. Paris is my favorite female on the show, and I love everything about her. She's so feisty, and she speaks her mind. And man, she is super good looking. Okay, super good looking. Very just toned, gorgeous, man. And my only criticism is that wig. I wish she'd take that thing off and shoot it. But outside of that wig, man, Paris is hot. You know what I'm saying? Even with the wig on, she look good. But I'm just saying, take the damn wig off and just throw it in the alley and just shoot the hell out of it. and just whatever you got. I don't care if it's a twig. If you got a twig of hair, just rock that because it's better than that damn wig. But nevertheless, this girl is gorgeous, man, and I like Great too. I like Great. He is not a pushover. He doesn't come across as somebody. Well, man, would you say, Daniel? I don't think I've watched this show. I'll check it out. Hey, man, let me tell you something, Daniel. This is a good show. It's a good show. Listen, anyway, Fat Lucy. Look, so Great. I like Great, and I didn't think I would like Great. I thought that he would be somebody who I would look at it and say, I can't really vibe with the guy, mainly because he cheated on Paris more than once, and I just hate when guys do that to women, especially good women. However, it looks like he's redeemed himself to some extent because she's with him or still with him, and I am pulling for this couple, but I don't think it's gonna work, man. Look, let me tell you something. Right now, Paris is being scoped out by one of the most F of all, the most biggest F boy I haven't seen a F boy this big in a long time. This is one of the biggest F boys you can possibly find. Like, where did they find this F boy at? Because this F boy is the F of all F boys, okay? And he has his eyes on Paris, and I don't know his name. I think his name is Taji or Tai P or something weird, some F boy name. And he has his eyes on Paris, and I'm like, man. But you know what? The only reason why I'm not extremely nervous because Great is a man. You know what I'm saying? He's not like one of these little soft men. Whereas this F boy can come in and run his little game. Like Paris, no matter what the F boy do, I don't know his name, Taji or something. Whatever he does, he has to compete with this guy. You see how big this guy is? Like Great ain't no sucker. So no matter what, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? But yeah, she is under the scope of a major F boy. And this, you can tell he has good accuracy. Look, hey, let me tell you something about this F boy right here. He got the pretty eyes. He got the little bun. I'm like, where y'all find a guy with pretty eyes and a bun? He got bun braids. Come on. He got bun braids. Can you believe that? You ever seen a guy with bun braids? He got the same damn hairstyle that some of the ladies used to have, Beyonce and Ashanti used to have back in 2004. With abs. Listen, man. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with this situation right here, but I'm pulling for. I love Paris, and she's a beautiful woman. As far as Great is concerned, Great, he's doing exactly what I thought he would do. He's basically like just acting like a guy, in his 20s. Everything that walks past him, he's looking at it. He's all over the place. But I will say that it would not surprise me if Great was able to control himself. It wouldn't surprise me. The next couple I want to talk about is Marisela. I finally learned how to say her name. Marisela, a beautiful name, by the way, and Christopher. Okay, this couple is the couple that I'm going to put my marbles on and say they're going to make it to throughout the entire show together. I think they're going to leave the island together. They suffer from separation anxiety. You can tell that they don't like being away from each other, and they are doing things that I recognize in a good couple. When you have someone you really love, someone you really care about, you care about their feelings, even if they're not around. So I saw several times in this episode where Chris was doing things intentionally to not hurt Marisela. Okay, one of those instances was when they selected their first date. He chose somebody he wasn't interested in because one, Marisela could see him, and two, he didn't want to hurt Marisela's feelings. And I said that is the kind of guy, despite him having nail polish, but that's whatever. Beyond that, I thought that was a good move. I'm like, that's what you want, because at this particular stage of my life, being married and having like children and stuff like that, I'm looking at these shows from a different perspective now, and it's kind of weird. When I watch these shows now, I'm looking at it from a perspective of who might my daughter bring home and tell me she wants to date. And like, so when I look at Marisela in the weirdest of all weirdest ways, I'm like, that's my daughter and she's bringing home Chris. And then I get to see Chris in his natural element around single women. And what I'm seeing from Chris makes me happy because he's not being led by his thing. He's actually leading with his conscience, and he's showing respect. That's the key word. He's respecting Marisela, who's not his wife, by the way, but he's respecting her in a way that I appreciate as a father with a daughter. Now, before I have my daughters, I'll be be totally different. I'll be saying he's a sucker because he ain't doing nothing. But anyway, Marisela is really struggling. Like I said, they have extreme separation anxiety. We saw tons of tears, from both sides. And the craziest thing that happened for me was watching a young lady push up on Christopher, and she just putting all the moves on him. He's like just melting. He's melting in his seat because he just can't. He can't enjoy it, right? He wants to touch. He wants to do all this other stuff. My man Daniel says, "I'm gonna go Rick C." All right, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you, my man. Hey, but you can just tell he really couldn't appreciate it because he has a female. So that's what it was, man. I really appreciated watching him show a little bit of restraint. Okay, and then our final couple is this couple right here. We got Vanessa and Rob, 34 and 24. Let me tell you, this is arguably the hardest couple to watch. Rob is being pumped like I've never seen a man pumped before. And this is why it's very, very hard to advocate for a younger man dating an older woman. Let me tell you something. If you're going to date an older woman, there's some things you have to know. I once dated a older woman, and it was only by 3-4 years. And that's a lot of time when it comes to male to female ratio, because let me tell you, women mature faster than men. So you can get a woman that's 20 and a guy that's 20, and the woman will run laps around a 20-year-old. Now, when you take that equation and you multiply it by, 1 or 2 or 3, because again, they're 10 years apart. Like he is outmatched in every way possible. There's just no way for him to be able to play the mind games or keep up with Vanessa. And she's like one of the most deviating. Now, it'd be crazy. It wouldn't be so crazy, I should say, if Rob was hooked up with Kaitlin, right? It would be like, okay, Kaitlin's still very nice. Or if Rob was hooked up with Paris, right? And in the 10 years was there. He's hooked up with Vanessa. She is an absolute man eater. Vanessa is like a man eater. You hear me? Right? So Rob, once they finally separate, he gets into an argument with a lady from the guy's villa because he feels like he's being cut off by the young lady. And really, I didn't see anything wrong there. But what's happening is Rob is finally up from under Vanessa. So he was able to feel freedom for the first time in probably 2 years. I think they've been together. They've been together for a year. So he is finally feeling freedom, and he realized for the first time in a year that, wow, this is what it feels like to talk without being interrupted. And the young lady in the guy's villa says something while he's talking. Granted, it wasn't anything egregious, but she says something while he's talking, and he blows up on her like, yo, don't interrupt me when I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? And he starts crying in the pool. Like, that a woman has beat the manhood out of a guy when he's with other women, and he cries in the pool when he's with the other women. That's how you know a woman has beat the manhood out of a guy. Okay? Vanessa is a man eater. And I feel so sorry for Rob. And it was so bad. Rob is exhibiting behavior so bad that when he went on this date with the woman he chose, they didn't even do anything romantic because they had already come to the conclusion that they are not made for each other, not for each other. You want to know why? Because that lady saw him in his most emasculating. He was just like, women really adore masculinity when it comes to a man. I know that for a fact. And when she saw this guy break down in the pool because a lady cut him off, right, and he started to cry, she immediately was unattracted to the guy. So, they played it off like, hey, man, so I'm just glad we're friends. And we, and then she was giving him like, hey, there's another young lady you can look at. I think y'all make a good couple. She was playing the matchmaker for Rob and the other young lady because she saw Rob in this most purest element. He was very sensitive. And I don't even think Rob is sensitive. I just think that he is the victim. I'm going to say victim. He is the victim of this 34-year-old crazy. This lady is nuts. Okay. Vanessa is a cougar, and I like her. I think she's awesome. But that's because I'm 37, and I can see through all of her games and her craziness. I can see through it. But if I'm 24, I hate this chick because she gonna hold you to the fire, and you better perform. And that's how she is. Man, Vanessa is a headache, bro. But I like Vanessa. All right. At this point in my life, listen, when you're dealing with a older woman, you have to destroy their ego. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. When you're dealing with an older woman, you have to absolutely pound her ego into the ground if you're the younger guy. It just is what it is. If you don't do that, that's what they're going to do to you. I know this for a fact. And not every older woman is like that. I know that, obviously. But a lot of them are, though. If you're going to be the younger guy in a relationship with the older woman, you better be prepared to destroy her ego at any and every chance, because if you don't, she's going to destroy yours. And that's what's going on with Rob. Rob is getting his ego destroyed. He doesn't even feel like a man. He has a lion tattooed on his chest right here, but by the time the show was over, it looked like a kitten because Vanessa done punched the lion in the nose. Vanessa made this grown 24-year-old. He's in the army. He's an army vet. She had him crying in the pool. And you know what? Another thing that's important is that Vanessa is also military. So she's just a man eater, bro. Straight up like that. So as far as final thoughts, look, I thought it was a great show. We already know what time it was. There was a lot of jockeying and preparation for what's going to actually happen. We know that episode 3 is when it's all going to hit the fan. And that's about what I'm waiting for. I enjoyed this episode, but it was just kind of like waiting for the grand finale. It's just like, where's the punchline at? And it just wasn't there. I just thought it was like a pretty dim show. It showed me a lot about what I wanted to see. However, it's just like, where's it at? And I think it's because they're holding out. They're going to hold out for episode 3. Once episode 3 hits, I don't know whether or not it's going to be a good season. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I like the couples. If I had to say, hey, which couples are just guaranteed to fail and which ones are going to succeed, here's my early picks. For Kaitlin and Hall, I think that Kaitlin's going to leave Hall. For Paris and Great, I think they're going to leave together. For Marisela and Christopher, I think they're going to leave together. Or maybe in a weird way, Marisela might decide to part ways from Chris because she wants some independence. But I'm going to go with they're going to lead together. As far as Vanessa and Rob, without question, this couple will not make it. In fact, I think Vanessa brought him on the show so that she can crush him that much more by dating another guy who's more masculine than Rob, or at least appears to be, in front of him. That's it right there. All right. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Like the video. Peace.